Okay. We didn't even had the PCs at that time, at the beginning of the 80s. People of my age, they remember, we already had big systems there. So I started with, small computers, doing some basics, programming, and that's why I grew up with technology in my blood. I never did as a profession, but I always integrated IT, computers, internet, and today blockchain into my professional life. To me, is the same things. I mean, it's integrated in what I do. I cannot do my job, I cannot do my profession without integrating digital implementations or computers or, every kind of technology is coming up today. Coming up very fast to the end, I spent 8 years as treasurer of the state of Canton of Ticino. And actually, I see the actual treasurer of the state of Canton of Ticino is connected with us, which is a friend of mine also. Ciao, Tiziano. And then I moved to a bank. I became the head of retail banking of the region of Ticino for 2 years. And last year left the bank and joined the City of Lugano as the Deputy CFO. And fortunately, or by chance, or because you try to get your chance in your life, I was involved in the Lugano's Plan B project, which is, once again, my profession, but also my passion since more years. So, sometimes stars just align, and this is why I'm here today to talk about Lugano's Plan B. Maybe a short introduction about Switzerland. I don't know if everybody knows how Switzerland is structured. A very rich country, very small, around 8.5 million, I think. It's a confederation of states. 26 states are composing the Swiss Confederation, and Canton of Ticino states, and Canton is the same things here in Switzerland. Canton of Ticino is one of the states which composes Switzerland, the Swiss Confederation. And it's actually a middle-sized state. So it's not small, it's not biggest, but it's not also small. So it's an important canton, and actually it's the only one canton with full Italian-speaking language. Because Switzerland, I remember, we have 4 official languages, which makes things very complicated sometimes, but this is the enrichment of our population. So we speak many languages, we interact with other cultures, even though we are all Swiss. And that's why I think also because international people, when they come to Switzerland, they always find a small piece of their home and they can integrate very easy. That's a little bit the introduction about what we are. Lugano is a city. Let's come to Lugano. Lugano is a very beautiful city located in the southern part of Switzerland. As I told before, with an amazing climate, sun all the summer and sun also in winter with snow. And so you have this combination of sun and snow. We have palm trees on the streets, so very nice place to live. As I said before, to me, it's the California of Switzerland, no doubt on this. If you want to live in a nice place for the climate, this is the region you want to choose. Lugano is a 66,000 inhabitants city, the second largest in Switzerland for the surface, and 9th city by a number of inhabitants. So we are a middle-sized city for, let's say, of the size of cities in Switzerland. We don't have cities about 10 million because the whole country is 8 million, but Zurich, I think, is like 500,000 or 600,000. Geneva is 400,000. And then you have this Lugano middle-sized city, which is a critical factor on what we are doing, because maybe starting our project in a bigger city would have been much more complicated. That's why also our private partner has chosen Lugano. This is one of the reasons that Peter, which is our private partner, has chosen Lugano, because in our size, we can really manage things directly, but also we are not small, so we have a scale enough big to make things work well and do tests very well. So let's come to the Lugano's Plan B, which has made people talk around the world, honestly. We have launched this on the 3rd of March of this year, so a few months ago. When we announced this meeting, or physical meeting in Lugano and online, we were expecting few people. So we started with a room with like 100 people. And I think 2 hours later was already full. So the reservation was already gone. So we moved to the Congress Center, and we had 1,200 seats. and we filled all of them. So we had 1,200 people in Lugano listening to what we had to say, and we did on the internet the podcasting, and we had 20,000 people connecting from all over the world. So we realized that this was something incredible that we were doing. So we realized at that time it was so important for many reasons that we can discuss later on, but we had this great success at that point. So this is to place the context of what happened. So let's come to the plan B. Why we reached this point of the plan B? The story is very simple but very interesting. As a city of Lugano, we are located next to the border of Italy, northern Italy. And when COVID-19 came, hit Europe, starting from Lombardy, which is, at the border with us. Lombardy was one of the most touched region of the world by this virus, and it was a big problem there. Many people died. And our region, by consequences, because we are really integrated physically and also economically, we just got hit at the same time, few weeks later, but at the same speed, at the same intensive heat of the virus. So this was the beginning of 2020. Then the summer calmed down everything. But in September, we noticed that people changed their habits, and they were scared to come to the city center, spending their morning on the shops and the restaurants. So we said, okay, we have to do something to help our shops and our businesses to recover, to attract people. And at that time, we had a Lugano card. It was a plastic card, basically a card that every citizen could have, and to get some discounts on the shops that were participating to this circuit. So you say, okay, starting from there, we build up a token and a wallet. And the token is the Luga. This is our token, which is the token of the city of Lugano, and is a stable coin at any, if you can read the token wherever you want, however you want, but this is a stable coin, basically, at the end of the day. So we decided to build up something on the blockchain, because there were some people, amazed by this technology. So we tried to push this. And we build up this token and this wallet, and we create this digital card, which includes now a wallet which can store these tokens. So the idea of the token was to stimulate people to go to the shops participating to this program. And every shop will pay a cashback of 10% of what was spent in the shop. Let's say you were spending 100 francs in a restaurant, and you get 10 francs back in tokens. So, and those tokens you can spend then again in the circuit or to the city services like the swimming pool or museum, etc. So this was very typical case of circular economy, very easy. I mean, we didn't invent anything, but what we used is the technology of blockchain, and we realized the potential of the blockchain. So the people who were not still already convinced, they realized that there was a big potential on this, because then the speed of increasing of usage of this was very important. So today we have around more than 200 shops participating to this program, and we have 6,000 people using active wallets. So we have 6,000 active wallets, which means more or less 10% of the population, which is a huge number if you take this into consideration. So starting from this point, this was end of 2020, we launched in December, I think. Then, because we would like to continue in the blockchain space, we said, okay, let's set up a blockchain of the city, so a city blockchain. And we asked a company, to create the blockchain for us. And we launched the blockchain, which is named 3A Chain, in October, November 2021. So a few months ago, if you want. And then we moved our token in our blockchain. So now this blockchain, as the first project, is our token, and then we are waiting for people and companies to build up projects on this blockchain. This blockchain is very interesting because we put this at disposal of everybody, companies, citizens, even international companies, whoever wants to make a project on this. And this was to show the people what is blockchain, so we could talk about blockchain, present what we were doing. We did a small forum when we presented this blockchain in November last year. And we were surprised because at this forum, we could invite Paolo Bortolin, who is CTO of Tether. And I think everybody knows who Tether is. Is the biggest stablecoin of the world, backed by a US dollar, Mexican dollar also now, and other currencies. So we met Paolo Bortolin, and Paolo Bortolin with our major say, okay, let's do something together. Let's push this further because, you guys are really advanced. You really believe in this technology. So let's partner up and do this together. That was the first first time our two, let's say, leaders on this project met. And then in February, at the end of February, we had our plan B as it is today set up. And on 3rd March, we launched this plan publicly. And now we are running, not working, but running to implement all the points of the plan, which we will see in a few minutes. And this is a successful story. Why? Because, we could partner with one of the biggest players in the crypto space, which is amazing to us. But they were here, so we met them and we decided to do it together. And this is something special for the public sector because public-private partnership, you normally do for other things. We are going to build our new stadium. And next year, we started the construction of the stadium that will be in PPP, in public-private partnership. But normally you do this for construction, not for project like this. So this is also very innovative from the point of view, because I'm talking about Western countries. Certainly you have countries like El Salvador, which they are really advanced on this, but for other reasons, Switzerland is completely different, and different reason to do this in Lugano. Anyway, let's come to the plan B, which I think is very interesting for everybody to understand what is this plan B. We underwrote a memorandum of understanding with Tether, and we decided to do this together in a partnership to push the adoption of Bitcoin, Tether, and Luga, which is our token, as I said, in the whole city of Lugano. So we want to reach a point where all the shops accept the 3 cryptocurrencies and all the citizens can use these cryptocurrencies. So this is mainly the goal. And then the second goal is also to develop as much as possible the blockchain inside of the territory of the city, attracting startups, doing project as a city in blockchain and push this technology further. Let's be honest, we are really at the beginning of all this. Blockchain is developing very fast. I'm in the space since 2017. But honestly, I've seen so many changes in the last 4 years, even in the last year, so many changes. But it doesn't matter. I mean, I've seen this for the internet. I remember the internet in 96, 97, everything changed with the collapse in 2000 or in 99, 2000. But then today, nobody, I think, can say, I can live without internet. So we are in this process of, building up something incredible for the humanity, I think. Where we go, we don't know, but at one point everything will be consolidated, and then we can really set up some very, very big changes for the whole population. I would say for the whole world. Hope also for the 3rd world, because all these crypto payments is helping a lot the developing countries, because unbanked people. There are millions, probably billions of people are unbanked, and with the Bitcoin or other cryptos or other, let's say with this technology, we can really help them. This is not the same reason we have here in Lugano, because everybody's banked in Lugano, but we have other reasons. But at the end of the point, we converge to the same project. And this is amazing to me. It's fantastic. So what is this plan? Sorry, yeah.
Can I ask you one question? Just going back, just one little step.
Sure.
There's so many different ways that I'm sure cities around the world have adapted programs during COVID to kind of get people back into stores and things. What was the kind of impetus to create the Luga, which is quite different from probably how the majority of cities have adapted to COVID? And what was it that gave you the confidence in the cryptocurrencies looking forward into the future?
Well, that's a good question. I was not there at that time, but now I'm working with all the people who created this at the beginning. Let's say this, I think, at one point of your life, if you don't take some risk, you don't go further. I think at that point, there were a couple of people believing in this, which is the General Secretary of the city, which is Robert Berkeley, his name. He's really, one of passionate about cryptos too. And Pietro Poretti, he is the director of the city's division of the economic development. And then the mayor, Michele Folletti, who is basically today with us leading this project, but the operatives guys, it's me, Robert, and Pietro. So both of them, they really convinced the executive committee of the city, the executive council, sorry, of the city, that this was a chance to find a complete different solution, just different from everything else, a very big chance to test a new technology that sooner or later could impact all the citizens, but also the city. Imagine if in 2 years, as a city, I have to accept, cryptos, and you didn't prepare for that. What do you do? I mean, it takes a year before you can implement systems, integrating the processes, integrating the systems. So you're not a small startup. We are a city of $500 million budget. And, and the Canton of Ticino, who's the treasury is here with us, it's a $4 billion budget. So you don't integrate cryptos easily in this way in our processes. So they decide to push this, and they convince the executive council to accept this risk. But it's not a big risk. I mean, it was a project. It cost some money, not so much at the end of the day. You invest a little bit and you have to try. So I think this is very courageous from them and from us today, because we are going in the same direction. I've done some courageous decisions when I was treasurer of the state, and the new treasury is doing courageous decisions now. Actually, I can announce that it's public. I can announce that the Canton of Ticino will accept Bitcoin soon for some services. So, things are moving, and once somebody starts, then the fear of the new just go away, and you just take the exciting side of let's do it and see what we do. We have to be honest. I'm not going to make a treasury of Bitcoins in the city of Lugano. I don't want to have 10 millions of Bitcoin in my accounts, because if they goes down, I have to justify this. It's public money. You can lose it investing or speculating on this. If they go up, everybody's happy, but nobody will say thank you. So you don't want to take this risk, also because it's public money. But you can approach the cryptos, try to understand, integrate it in your systems, and when the central banks, which I'm fully convinced they will come very soon with the central bank digital currencies, that's okay. Our processes are okay. We can accept Bitcoin, Tether, Swiss francs, digital Swiss francs, digital euro, digital dollar, or digital whatever you want. So, sorry. So I'm very convinced this small risk that you take in a project like this, but it's just the financial risk of the project, is nothing. I mean, you can take it, you can try it, and we take bigger risks in a city. So why not to do it? So I have to say, the people at that time, so Robert, Pietro, and Michele Folletti, they really were clever. They were really looking. I said, okay, let's do it. We have something new, and we can test the new technology. Then, I say 3A chain came in, and now with 3A chain we have Plan B. It's just amazing, the acceleration of this. It's maybe it's also chance, sometimes, but sometimes you have to take action to get the chance from your side.
Thank you so much. And please keep going. We want to hear more about Plan B.
Okay, so now what is Plan B? Let's say it in few words. Plan B, it's really, let's say, articulated in few points. Let's start from one which I care a lot. I'm mixing the points, not for importance, but I'm just telling you, how they come in my mind. Education. So we are a city. I come from the private sector. I spend half of my life, professional life, more than half of professional life in the private sector, but then I switched to the public sector, but I still behaving like I have to develop things to make the city more efficient. So from the education point of view, I have to take into consideration that we are representing our population. So we have to do things thinking about the population. So first of thing, we have to educate our citizens about cryptos. We have done with Luga, and now we are doing with everything else it comes. So education is a very important part. But crypto is not only crypto. I mean, blockchain is behind crypto. So don't forget, crypto is very important, is what makes people talk. But I'm very convinced blockchain is the value of everything, because blockchain can touch all the sectors, everything. Naturally, you always link a crypto, but this combination has to be, taken further. Not only crypto, because otherwise, when crypto just collapse 50%, you see people disappearing. You say, oh, okay, I don't want to touch crypto and blockchain anymore. That's really a big mistake. I remember to everybody that in the year 2000, or 99, 2000, the whole internet sector collapsed. I mean, the stock exchange, there was, a blood situation. But once again, today, nobody remembers about that. Only the one who lost the money there. So don't speculate on crypto, just use it to understand, because this will be part of our life. So learn, and we are trying to teach our citizens to do. But then education with the universities. We have 3 universities in our region. University of Svizzera Italiana, which is a full university as you think about a university, and they make basic research. Then we have SUPSI, which is applied sciences universities. So it's a university, but more linked to the private. You don't hear? You hear me?
Now I can again, yes.
Okay, sorry. We have the SUPSI, which is the Applied Sciences University. It's a university, but more in the applied sciences. So their research is more practical, linked to companies. So it's very important to have these 2 different sides. And then we have Franklin University, which is an American university, which set up in Ticino in 1969, I think. So it's a very important university, private university, international, and they're really also in the educational space of Canton of Ticino. So we are trying to collaborate with the 3 universities and to build up some new classes. They already have classes naturally about blockchain, but we are trying to connect them to the private sector, to those startups, to Tether, to other big blockchain companies, and make them talk about the needs of the company. So what do you need as a profile? Do you need like a pure Bitcoin theoretician, or do you need somebody who can, program smart contracts in this system on the other system? So we are trying to connect them, sorry, and to build up the really high level education. And for this, our private partner is putting on the table, I think, $1 million in grants to give to the students who will choose these specific classes that we are building right now. In the educational side, very important, in the last 2 months, we built up a summer school in Ticino that will be held here in Lugano at the Franklin College campus. They put their campus at disposal because they have dorms and everything. So we are welcoming, I think, up to today, 86 students from all over the world. It's amazing. In basically a month and a half, we could collect this subscription from 86 people from all over the world. There will be interesting names teaching there. We invited names like Paolo Bortolin, naturally, and then Adam Bex, for instance, which is very known in the space of blockchain and Bitcoin. And this is, I think we have closed now this subscription to this class, to this 2 weeks program, because we are really full, and we have to manage this. And we build up in a month and a half. So it's amazing. And we also have the collaboration of USI. Some professors from USI will also teach there. So that's the point of the education. And we are already thinking about winter school. So, the speed of this project is just amazing. We are working on Saturdays and Sundays and evenings because, everything is really at blockchain speed. And as a city, we cannot take the normal speed of the public administration, which is kind of normal, then you push sometimes the speed, but not always. And here we are working since March at the speed of light. It's amazing. So, but we want to take this momentum and take to the milestones. The other point of education is very important too. We are talking to the Banking Association because banks are a very important point of this project, because today, I think all over the world, when a startup is managing blockchains or cryptos, bankings are really, scared about opening accounts and making them operate. But if you want to attract startups, you have to help them to have accounts to pay salaries and everything, because we are not already at the point where you pay all your expenses in crypto and all your salaries in crypto. Sorry. So we are talking to banks. We met probably 15 to 20 banks, one by one, and we discussed with them, asking them, where are you? What do you think about blockchain? Are you already managing clients? And collecting all the information to then, spread this information to the startups and to the crypto people, where they can go, to open accounts and manage their money, because there is also a huge amount of money going around the world, and we have to manage this money. So in Switzerland, we are very happy to manage money. This is one of our main fields, in financial sector. But still, we have noticed in the last 15 years that Lugano is the third financial place, financial sector in Switzerland. But to be honest, the banking sector is going back a lot in our region. So we have to compensate for jobs. I mean, we are talking about jobs here. We had thousands and thousands of jobs. We have 1,000 jobs less now. So we have to react and create new partners. But the financial sector, to me, is fundamental, because everything you touch with crypto, it's financial. So we need them to understand and to see if they can get into this project. Many banks are already reacting, and some are, building up internal schooling for their compliance. So this is also the educational side, and we are talking with the Ticino Swiss Banking Association to build up maybe classes for the compliance and for the private bankers, for everybody to understand what we are talking about, and once you understand, it's less scary to me. So this is the let's say the part of the education. Then we want to develop the Bitcoin, Tether, and Luga as a mean of payment in the whole city, which means pushing, as I said, the shops to accept it, pushing the people to use it, and naturally pushing ourselves to accept these three cryptos. What we are doing right now, we are investing and developing the system to, accept unlimited amounts of crypto for our services, which includes payment of taxes and everything relates to public services. But the difference between other cities and cantons who already has accepted Bitcoin or Ethereum for some payments, in Lugano, we are going to accept in an unlimited way. I mean, you can pay 1 million in taxes if you want. I will accept this. I have to accept it. But to do this, once again, we have to integrate in our processes. Not very easy, but we are working on it. So we are not ready, but we will do it I hope in few months. And then we are helping all the shops, the ones who already have the Luga and the other ones who doesn't have the Luga, to accept Bitcoin, Tether, and the Luga. And how are we going to do this? Tether, once again, has put on the table 3 million francs to spend for helping them, which means maybe we have to buy new point of sale, electronical posts to accept Bitcoin. So we buy it and we give them. And then to make schooling, to make events, so we will spend this 3 million to help all the shops to accept this. Everybody is welcome. We already have done a meeting like 2 months ago, and there were many shops interested in this. So working from the public sector is very interesting because you have contact with everybody. So you are the center of everything. And that's an amazing point of view. So you can see what works, what doesn't work, and then put the two links together. That's another.
Can I jump in and ask one question?
Sure.
This is true in many places around the world, that where we have the most activity, the most startups, the easiest adoption is where someone in the city council or governor is at least knowledgeable about blockchain. right? So for example, Denver, Austin in the United States, New York is now getting on a little bit late, but we've seen this in Switzerland also. And one of my questions, because we have centralized and decentralized blockchains, we have centralized and decentralized currencies, wallets, and I know this has been one of the big questions from government is how do they maintain control, so to say? And I'm interested to know what Lugano's take on that is. And if you're favoring one or open to both, or even if the Luga coin and the blockchain is decentralized or centralized.
Well, that's a good question. As you say, there are so many principles, so many blockchains, so many types. It's very, very difficult to understand where we go. As I said, we don't know where we go. I think, let's be honest, nobody knows. What I think is we go somewhere with this technology. So now to choose now what to do, decentralized, centralized, not centralized, blah, blah, blah. I think it's really too early because you can maybe choose decentralized, and then 2 months later, the Swiss central bank comes out with the Swiss franc crypto, and stablecoin just disappears. I don't know. I just thinking. So we have to adapt, not day by day, but month by month. I think this is the most difficult things to do. But what we do is we proceed with projects. And what I learned from the internet revolution, it doesn't matter if your first project, second or third project, they just, don't work. But on the fourth one, the knowledge, the learning curve, you have done it, it's amazing. I mean, all the mistakes you have done, just forget it. They teach this on the business schools, and that's really true, but you have to do it. Let's do a project, it's not working, okay. Important is not to spend 1 million in a project which is, at the end is bankrupt. No, we don't want this, but we are not going to do this as a City of Lugano. Then centralized, decentralized, I don't know. This is not on us to say. For instance, as a canton or as a city, we have the commercial register or the building register, where your house is registered there. Why not to do decentralized and linked the sales to a crypto? So I can sell you my house to you without any notary, any lawyer. I think it's very easy to do it. Then you want to take the risk, you don't want to take the risk. I don't know. It's not on me to decide. This is really too big discussion, and we are going also in the ethical side. We should spend another hour for this. But personally, I don't take this into consideration now. Let's do some projects.
That's my approach. And I think you're right, because when we talk about the technologies, what we're looking at is the entire ecosystem, right? So everyone from the customer to the creator, to the investor, to the employee, what is the technology that's most going to align their incentives? And that most likely will be the one that is adopted, right?
Exactly.
Wonderful.
So
okay, please continue.
Yeah, what we want to do with the plan B is really to build up an ecosystem in Lugano. Let's be honest, we already have many startups here. I mean, there are startups everywhere in the world, so we are not starting from scratch. We are just consolidating this, try to make it bigger and more controlled at the beginning on the framework. So we are creating the framework with Tether, but Tether is the first big partner. Other partners are coming. I cannot announce other names right now, but we are speaking, for instance, with Polygon. We met Polygon really regularly. It's a huge, one of the most important blockchain in the world. We talk to them, they're around our table, so we're already talking, and we talk to other partners because at one point this will enlarge. We don't have to enlarge too fast, because otherwise we don't control anymore and we don't know what we do. But maybe at one point we realize we don't have to control and let it go. But to give this first fire, we have to do it in this way, we think, with our partners. But the ecosystem must be something real. What we want in Lugano, it's that we want here startups to come here, invest here. We want funds to come here, invest here. We want big blockchain companies to come here and be here. So when you go out from your office, you can in 2 doors further meet somebody who's interested. It's basically what I've learned, what I've seen in the Silicon Valley in the 90s, which is probably still like this today. So you can really interact, And now young generation studying at the university, they come out and they can choose what they want to do, or maybe they can choose to do their own startup, So this is the mentality we want also to create, also in the educational side, to change the mentality and be really more modern in the development of the future economy. But this is very important. We don't want companies to come in Lugano and put like a mailbox and say, oh, we are in Lugano because Lugano is interesting today. No, we want you to see here. We want to see your offices here, and we want to meet you regularly. So we put our political people, politicians at your disposal. We meet, you come here, and we talk together. Because when you talk, anything really exploded. You have seen with one talk in October, we are here today. So imagine when we met 20 people like this. So this is very interesting. And the plan B also includes a hub where we can consolidate those startups and the startups that wants to come here. Honestly, we already have probably 40 contacts of startups that want to move here really soon. So, which doesn't mean they will move. Before to move a company, you have to move people. It takes time. But we are talking, they come here, they visit us, they see the city, they see the region, say, wow, that's a beautiful place to be. Switzerland is one of the more stable countries in the world, honestly. Our laws are stable and you can really trust the laws. If the financial regulator, FINMA, says this is the way to go, you can go. They don't change 6 months later, Sure, before to change, it takes maybe a year, but they do. So Switzerland is very interesting as a place. Not only Lugano, the whole Switzerland I'm talking about. So I'm really selling the whole country. You have Zug, you have now the size of Geneva also a little bit, but what we have done in Lugano is that the political side has become the promoter. We say, okay, we do all in 100% on this technology, we go, let's go. Then we are doing this with a private partner, and we will do with more private partners probably, but this is what is really different from the other cantons, from the other region in Switzerland, is that we are the ones promoting this, and we are full. So we succeed or we succeed. There is no other chance for us. So we will do it. And this point to come back, and so we will open up a startup center, a hub, which was announced between 2,000, 3,000 meters as a starting point. It should be already done. This is the private investor doing. So we are not doing as a city, to be clear. In all this project, the city is not investing money. So we are not investing big capitals in this kind of project because it will be too complicated to get approved for the budget, and then it will take years before to invest 1 million in a project like this. So these private partners, they will just buy this building and put the first startups there, and then we will probably expand in other buildings. So, and this should be all in the center of Lugano because we want to create this community. We're already talking about somebody opening a crypto bar when you can meet those important people. So this is a community stuff, and this is what we want. No mailboxes, thank you. We don't want it. We want people in Lugano.
I want to make sure we have time. There's a couple questions I've been collating.
Oh, sure.
From the students, but you let me know when you're ready for questions.
Oh, okay, I try to shorten it as much as possible. Other points of the plan is we are going to do a Plan B forum in end of October. We will invite very, very important people and talking about freedom of economy, freedom of financial services, and this kind of argument. Everything you can find on the website, which is planb.lugano.ch. Maybe I can share at the end a slide with this. And you can find all the information of the Plan B on the forum there. So forum is also a very interesting international forum. 2,000 to 3,000 people will come there. So if you want to participate, you're very, very welcome. Well, that's basically, I think, the Plan B. I hope I haven't forgotten anything, but you can find everything on the website. Let's say, I will conclude. Okay. What the advantage for the city? Well, first of all, the learning curve, as I said, very important to take a look to the technology and learn how it works to integrate in our processes. We can be more efficient if you use this technology, I'm sure. There are already some examples, like the Luga is really efficient and working and giving us results. We can help the population to integrate to this technology, to integrate the technology in the daily life, very important. And that's a little bit our advantage. Maybe I should not say, but the last really big advantage, if we can bring 100 or 1,000 startups here, then we collect more taxes, which is also my job. We collect taxes on the companies, on the people coming to live in Lugano. So maybe the family comes, maybe other friends comes, other company comes. So also from the taxation point of view, it is extremely interesting. We already have a couple of important people that moved here already. And trust me, it's very interesting from the taxation point of view for the city and for the canton, because you pay at both levels. Takeaways, guys, just 3 takeaways and then questions. Well, there, you have to try. If you work on the public sector, don't listen to the upper level that telling you stay calm, don't do anything. No, try to convince them. For sure, you need to the consensus from the political side. So build the consensus and then there do innovative project, not only in the blockchain, in digitalisation, in everything. So you can do it. I've done in the Canton of Ticino when I was there, and I'm participating and doing this right now in City of Lugano. So it's possible, but you have to convince, the political side is not always easy, but trust me, there are all people, very intelligent people. And if you sell the project in a good way, they will help you to do it. Another takeaway, if you want to do something like this in the public sector, you need a private partner. So PPP, private-public partnership, find a very big company who can help you to do it. They will have their interest, sure, but you have your interests. So without this, I couldn't put 10 million on the project. Oh, what I forgot to say in the plan B, the private partners, they will set up a fund of about 100 million to invest in startups in the city of Lugano. So imagine the city of Lugano will never reach that point to invest, to set these funds to invest in startups. So you need private partners. And the private sector, to me, last takeaway, has to lead the change, but has to lead the change with an entrepreneurial mentality. So change the mentality and then lead the change. Not doing by yourself, so don't invest in startup, but try to build up a framework when the startups can really develop. That's my last takeaway. So I'm open to questions. Sorry.
Paolo, thank you so much. I really appreciate summing up those takeaways and kind of almost as a call to action for other cities, right? I feel like Lugano is becoming an ideal case study for other places around the world, and provides such confidence just because Switzerland is known as kind of the center of banking, right? And to see you adopting such progressive programs is really exciting for all of us, I'm sure, as we're spread out around the world, with the hope that these programs will eventually come to our own cities. So just a few questions. Henna was wondering if the Luga is an ERC20 coin.
Good questions. It's based on quorum.
Okay.
That's a technical point. I don't know. Sorry.
No problem. We're going to go through, and these can be kind of quick answers. So.
But yeah. now that you pose this question, I will check tomorrow because I should know it.
Wonderful. And loves your story and says it's so inspiring, and was wondering how you're preparing the young generation to adopt this new technology. Which I understood part of it was through the education, but are there other programs that you have to encourage the adoption?
Well, for instance, in September, we meet the young generation. The political parties, they always have the young political party. So we will meet with them. They organize with all the young politicians, which they will then spread among their electors. And that's another point. So we will talk to people, we will write on the newspapers, but honestly, the young people, the young generation already know everything about this, or a lot. So sometimes they teach us, but we just have to give them the possibility to express themselves, and then the spread from bottom to up to their, to their father and mothers, and tell them, you see, I told you, this is the way we go. So this is basically will happen alone. But then university classes, who knows, maybe we will do some classes, special classes for everybody. I don't know. We are just, we have so many things to do.
Yeah, we do, all of us. So Feline was asking, how do you get the buy-in from the shops in the ecosystem, right? What is their incentive to participate in this?
Well, the one who adopted the Luga was the fact that we could bring customers back or new customers. And many of them, which I met recently, they told me it worked. So people came back and they got really new customers because they say, I'm coming here because you give back the Luga. So this is really working. For accepting all the others, so Bitcoin, Tether, and Luga, first of all, we help them, the technology, we will give them the technology for free, because if they have to invest 2,000 or 3,000 francs to accept maybe few Bitcoin payments at the beginning, they won't do it. So we will do it for free. And this fund of about 3 million will help this. And the third motivation, very interesting motivation, is that we are going to do this forum at the end of October. And we told them, we are going to invite and people will come from all over the world, passionate about crypto. And those guys, they will spend in crypto. They want to spend in crypto. They want the journey. They want the experience. So you have to be ready to accept it. Otherwise, they won't go to the other restaurant, for instance, which accept the crypto. So this is stimulating a lot. Only these 3 points is already a lot.
Awesome. Sindhu, he's asking if any process has gotten faster or easier since adopting the crypto. Is it solving, for example, unforeseen problems?
No, for us not, because as I said, we only have the Luga right now. We don't accept Bitcoin and Tether already, so I cannot give an answer. Not sure that this will be something important at the beginning. Maybe in 5-10 years, when all the payments are done in crypto, then it's something different. But today the volume is not so important. It will increase because we will stimulate people, but I don't have examples and we are not ready yet. So. Let's talk next year about this.
Another question from Marco in Brazil, who's wondering how Lugano is preparing to connect with other cities around the world. And are there other plan Bs kind of running in parallel, Rio de Janeiro in particular?
Good question. In end of May, we were invited at the World Economic Forum in Davos, which was for us amazing. We were there basically all the 4 days talking about Plan B. A lot of people came. We met so many interesting people. Everybody was amazed about this. And a couple of persons did the same question, which is a very interesting question. Honestly, we are not thinking about this right now. We are in the process of developing ourselves this. So we have to reach all our milestones. It's a huge work. We are only 3 people working on this. Sure, we have the private partner, the other private partners, but inside of Lugano, we have only these 3 people. Everybody already has a full-time job, and then we added this full-time job. So this is not an objective right now. Let's set up all the milestones that we have talked about. And then maybe in 6 months, a year, then we can start thinking about connecting with other cities. But if other cities want to connect with us, making question, meet us to come here and meet us, or make like a internet chat, we can do it. But it's not a priority right now. It's too big right now for us than to add these 2. But I think it will come. It has to come. And we need to connect with the other because we can learn from the others too.
Yes. So I want to wrap up, but I want to let you know that here at UNIT, we are also developing city and industry tokens as a way to, again, give value back to the people who are creating the value, and to share that, like I was mentioning before, kind of really trying to align, the interests of the owners and the investors with that of the employees and customers, so that we're moving more towards a stakeholder capitalism as opposed to a shareholder. And what we've found is that the greater the alignment of the interests, the better the overall success of whichever project it may be, which I think you actually started to describe as you talked about the private and public sector, as well as the education, the banks, the startups, that the more people we have involved, government, the more likely a project is to succeed. So we're very interested to see what you do, and we're also looking forward to learning from you as you continue to develop. I was wondering if there's any last comment you would like to leave with the students before we close the session.
Oh, well, just one comment, guys. Believe on what you do. That's it. Believe and do it.
Amazing.
Act.
Just Paolo, thank you very much for that very inspiring talk. And your kind of bullishness is just what the world needs for propelling this technology and blockchain and Web3 forward. Paolo, just want to make a comment that at UNIT, one of our growth initiatives is education. So, and this is our 10th cohort that we're running. It's a free of cost 6-week education on blockchain and Web3. And our goal is to onboard like 100,000 students by the end of 2022. So is there a way that we can reach out to you for proposing a partnership? Like that's also your mode to educate your citizens. And we would love to offer our educational program, which is a free of cost program now.
Sure, no problem. No problem. I'm very, very happy about that. You can share my email to everybody without any problem. Zachary,
sure.
You can. Okay. So
we will be in touch.
Okay. Thank you very much, and more power to you. Yeah.
If you have any question more, then you can write me an email. I will take some time to answer you, but I will answer to you. So don't hesitate to send me an email, whatever you want to know, or if you want to connect or something like this.
Wonderful.
Amazing. Thank you very much. I'll do that.
Paolo, thank you again, and obviously a big thank you to all of the participants who came here to listen and to engage and to ask questions. Obviously, we're all on this journey together, and it's very exciting where we'll be even a year from now. So thank you so much.
Thank you to you, and thanks for inviting me. Good
Awesome.
luck for the rest of the master. Bye bye.
Thank you, Paolo.
Thank you.
Bye bye.